Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm behind the camera again because this is going to be every single one of my Beatles LPs albums. And it's going to be a massive flip through video. So sit back and relax for this one. Probably going to be a little while. But one of my friends asked me if they just wanted to see a whole flip video of my whole entire Beatles collection, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through everything and kind of just go through my collection and just kind of have some fun with it. So I'm just going to flip through everything. If there's any notable standout records, I'll kind of talk about that one a little bit. Um, but yeah, I guess there's nothing to it but then to start flipping through it. So starting off with the Savage Young Beatles. This is a reissue from the late 60s, I believe, not an original one. It's another Savage Young Beatles 10-inch from the UK 1982. Got some Decca tape picture disc from 2016. Got the Beatles green cover from 1964 from the MGM. This is Ain't She Sweet, 1964 on the yellow label. I believe that's a reissue from 66. Then we got some Hamburg stuff. This is a Japanese promo on the white label there. And then we got a US version of that, and then a Netherlands version of it, and then kind of another Netherlands kind of bootleg type thing from 1985. I got more Beatles featuring Tony Sheridan. This is the 1967 version on the Mr. Pickwick label. Got a couple Italian one, The Birth of the Beatles, Volume 1, and I think Volume 2. Yeah. This is Stars on 45. And I got a couple giant kind of Beatles mash-ups. Beatlemania, to kind of just some capitalization off the Beatles images back in the day. Not actually Beatles. It's by the Liverpools there. Got a discotheque. Features one Beatles song. Take some insurance out on me, baby. Got the Silver Beatles Volume 1. Silver Beatles Volume 2. Got the Early Beatles Volume 1. Early Beatles Volume 2. And then we got to the first UK album here. This is Please Please Me. This is a third pressing with the extra 33 and a third on the label right there. Still looking for a first pressing of Please Please Me on the gold label there. So that's one of my, I guess you can say, grails to look for right now. But this is a German copy, 1964 on the Odeon label there. This is a 1976 UK version, 1980 pressing UK in the 2012 reissues there. Love Me Do 12-inch. Here the Beatles Tell All 1964. Here the Beatles Tell All picture disc. Then we got some, let's see, song, pictures, and stories of the fabulous Beatles. And these are just going to be like some slight label variations. I got a few of these in kind of ranging conditions. So that one's on the black one. And then same with the introducing the Beatles. All these are version 2. I still need a version 1. Again, the slight label variations of all these introducing the Beatles. This was the first one I got, but bootleg, of course. Stereo. Then we got the Beatles versus the Four Seasons. Jolly What. I'm not too sure if this is real or not. It was just tough to tell. A Russian album from 1986. Kind of just some earlier stuff. And let me just get that up real quick. And that is box 1 of, I believe, 9. So I'm just going to keep moving along here. Off to With the Beatles. This is a UK first pressing in stereo. And then we got a German, a mono release, or a stereo release on the Odeon label. original Australian version of With the Beatles. But that's the second pressing. Let's see what we got here. Got one from the Philippines. So kind of similar Parlophone label there. Then a 76 UK pressing, 1995 US mono edition, and then the 2012 reissue. And then we got Beatlemania, the first Canadian record, or the first American record, I believe I should say. And then we got a Meet the Beatles with the no BMI or ASCAP credits on the label there in stereo. And then this is a Scranton pressing, Indianapolis pressing, not too sure pressing, but my aunt gave that one to me. 1965 pressing, 69 on the green Capitol, 71 pressing on Apple, 1976 on the red orange Capitol, purple label, the throwback label from 83, and then the throwback label from 86, and then of course the 2024 reissue on blue vinyl. Then we got another Canadian record here. We got Twist and Shout, and then we go on to the second album. Got Scranton pressing, a couple of different Scranton pressings, Los Angeles pressing, Pittman pressing in the shrink, Indianapolis pressing, Winchester pressing from 1969, Green Capitol. Then we got Apple reissue, the orange label, purple label from 1978. And then we got the 83 throwback and the 86 throwback label. Next up, we got the Beatles' second album. This is another German release for the US military base on that white Odeon label. And we got another Canadian release. This is an original Long Tall Sally from Canada. And this is a 1978 repressing of it. All right, off to the second UK first pressing. This is A Hard Day's Night in mono with the chubby font to make it a first pressing. And next up we have one from South Africa. First pressing. We got a 1969 UK pressing, a Japanese 1986 on red vinyl on the Odeon label there. And then we got a 1995 version, US copy on the purple. This is a Hard Day's Night French edition. This is a repress from like the 70s. And then we got A Hard Day's Night German. I believe this is a mono. Yeah. And then the 2012 reissue of A Hard Day's Night. Alrighty, let me move up here. Alright, here we go. Go on to something new. Again, Scranton pressing, a couple different versions of those in terms of like the small numbers on the back. It's a Gloversville pressing. This is a 1969 club pressing with the 3 marks there. So it's still actually going to be on the, this is going to be the green label with the 8 catalog number in the middle. Then we got an Apple pressing of it. I guess I haven't shown one of those. There you go. Sorry about the phone, I don't have it stationary here. Then we got a 76 orange label, 78 purple label. This is a German reissue from the 77. Then we got the motion soundtrack of A Hard Day's Night. This is a Rockaway pressing. All that kind of stuff. These are all kind of first pressings. I got that copy way back in the day for 50 cents at a local guitar store. It's 75 stereo version, 77 stereo version, a 1980s Capitol version, and then a 1986 Capitol version on the throwback label. Let's see if I can pull that out here. Yeah, there we go. Then we got a Hard Day's Night soundtrack, George Martin. Sing the Songs with the Beatles from 1965. Beatles Story, got an original pressing, 68 subsidiary pressing, Apple pressing, Capital Orange label, purple label, and then a Canadian label, or a Canadian pressing, I should say. And this one's a weird one from Italy. It's kind of like an unofficial press. I just like the cover. The sound quality is awful though. So it's got another Beatles songbook thing. Here's the first Beatles songbook. Rock and Roll Music. Rock and Roll Volume 1. Rock and Roll Volume 1, the UK version. Rock and Roll Volume 2, US. Rock and Roll Volume 2, UK. And we got another UK first pressing of Beatles for Sale. That is a stereo version. Got another Australian record for Beatles for Sale. And it's a 1969 UK pressing there. A 76 UK pressing. And a 1984 UK pressing. And then the 2012 reissue. We've got the early Beatles, I think kind of the least collected record in my collection so far. Got a 65 first pressing. This is a Jacksonville pressing. 68 subsidiary pressing. Apple label pressing. Orange Capital pressing. 86 throwback label pressing. And then it's kind of an interesting picture disc of kind of a a French cover. This picture disc sounds awful, by the way. It's kind of like unofficial release from like 2000 or something like that. And then we got the Beatles movie medley 12-inch promo from 1982. And then I kind of just picked this one up one day, live in Paris, 1965. Kind of another unofficial thing there. All right, I'm going to move this so I don't have to stand to the side of it. So sorry about the shaky phone here. All right. All right, let's get back into it. All right, Beatles 65, here we go. So we got original pressing in the shrink, 1964. Just a different original pressing for those two. We got Los Angeles pressing from on the Apple label there. And then we got all rights reserved Apple pressing here, as denoted by the rim text there. Then we got a orange Capital label, purple Capital label, the throwback label. And then we got the songs, Storybook Volume 2, and it's also got a promo from 1964. This is a Australian greatest hits volume, but this is a reissue from 79 on kind of a cool orange Parlophone label. All right. Next, original UK first pressing of Help in mono. And that one has the serif with the serif label. So like all the words have a serif on it. And this one is a Times New Roman first pressing. So a little different font, but they still first pressing. And then you got my Italian Help. This is a true first pressing. One of my favorite looking covers. And look at that cool Italian Parlophone label there. Alright, then we got the Beatles Help. This is a kind of a weird German Apple label reissue from like the 70s. And then we got a US copy there. Let's see, yeah, just on the purple label from the 90s. Got a Beatles shell picture disc, because I probably won't find an original one advertising the shell, because those go for a lot. Then you got the 2012 reissue. And then we got on to Beatles 6. This is an original promo in a shrink wrap, so that's really cool. Then we got a subsidiary 1968 pressing, 1969 green pressing, Apple pressing, all rights reserved pressing, or orange label, purple capital label, and then 1986 rainbow throwback label. And we got another promo. I found these two in like the span of like 2 weeks. It's kind of crazy. I know it's beat up, but it's still an original Los Angeles promo from 1965. That's just my nicer copy. And then some of these are going to be flipped around because since these are gatefolds, they would all be like leaning to one side, if that makes sense. This kind of evens it out. So this is a 1965 copy. 1967 pressing, I have a question mark because the inner sleeve was for 1967, but there was no release on Discogs, so I added my own release there. Then we got a green label, Apple label, orange capital, purple capital, 1988 purple label. It's getting tougher to find. It has the manufactured by Capital rim text right along there. So those are always kind of tough to find, as being my only one. And then this one, we got the Great American Tour. It's kind of just the fifth Beatle presenting some concerts by Ed Rudy. So tough one to find there. And we got another songbook. Got a bootleg of what's supposed to be the live concert in Atlanta, but it is not. I forget where it's from. I think it's the Hollywood Bowl, I think. So there's a first pressing, the Hollywood Bowl, second pressing with no embossed tickets, and then the 2016 reissue. Alrighty. We are making progress. This one of the cooler albums in my collection. This is the Beatles' hottest hits from Denmark. About 3,000 were made, and some of these were destroyed because EMI didn't let other countries make a compilation of the Beatles just yet in 1965, so they had to recall this one. But some of them still survived. Found one on eBay, and you can tell by the flipbacks. There's multiple ways you can try to see if you have an original one, because this one is bootlegged a good bit. Alright, got the Beatles' Greatest Hits. This is the 1978 version on the black Odeon label there. Looking for one on gold vinyl. That would be cool. Then we're on to the Rubber Soul, the US Rubber Souls. Scranton pressing. Piccaninnyville pressing. And yeah, this is another Scranton pressing. This might have been, yeah, this is the first album I've ever bought. Or one of the first albums I ever bought. I had an Abbey Road and a Rubber Soul on the same day. This is the first Canadian pressing of Rubber Soul, as shown there. Litho in Canada. Pretty much similar label though. Then we got a 1966 pressing of Rubber Soul with the Beatles on the label there. This is 69 green label, Apple label, purple capital label, and 1995 on the purple label there. And we got another UK first pressing of Rubber Soul. I'm still looking for the loud cut version of this record, so that's kind of another UK album I'm looking forward to. And this one is an original French copy on the orange Odeon label, so that's really cool looking. So that was a cool find. And then this one is an 87 rainbow US pressing. And then I got a 2015 bootleg on green vinyl. My brother got that for a present for me. And we got the Beatles hits in brass and percussion. Chet Atkins does the Beatles. This is also like in a shrink and like a promo. says it. Yeah, right there, not for sale. So let me get that back in its sleeve here. Sorry about that. And then we got another bootleg here. This is what is this? 5 Nights in the Judo Arena. This goes to my Yesterday and Today album, Butcher album up there. So this is a very clean Los Angeles pressing. Just a standard copy of it, but it's like super clean. We've got a Scranton pressing, Jacksonville pressing, 66 repressing with the gold record award, picture disc, some unofficial copies. This one's on pink vinyl, and the next one's on blue vinyl. Oh. And this one is a 1969 with the Record Club 3 on a green label there. So another green label, just a standard copy. A Apple label from 1971. Apple reissue 73. Orange capital label, purple capital label, SRC pressing 1986 throwback label. And then I have a first pressing mono of a collection of old Beatles oldies on the Parlophone label there. Let's get that back up. This is a 1969 copy in stereo. Another 1969 copy, I believe. And this one was cool. This one's from 1973, but it kind of came with a sticker there, so I thought that was pretty cool. All right, let me get this other oldies back in here. All right, now we're on to mid-period Beatles here. These are going to be all Revolvers and all my Sgt. Peppers. And we're just about halfway done here. And this one is another UK first pressing with the withdrawn mix of Tomorrow Never Knows. So the matrix number will have XEX 606-1. And for all the things that you see up here, it's just kind of my notes on the record. So I got, band, condition, album title, year, country, and just some extra notes. But we got a 1966 German copy here on the Horzu Odeon label there. And then got a US Revolver in the shrink. Pittman pressing, subsidiarity, Capital pressing 1968. Again, you can see the 3 lines here, but is inverted for the color for the border of Revolver. They put as black. So this is the green label, club pressing, and then just the standard green label, Apple pressing, and purple capital pressing there in 1965, pressing there as well. And this is a 1988 UK DMM pressing on the Parlophone label. And then it got 2012 reissue, 2022 picture disc, and this is German album, The World's Best. This is just a reissue on the blue Odeon label there. And then we got a 1967 UK first pressing of the Beatles First. This is on Polydor red label there. Then we got another Beatles Songbook Volume 4. And then the rest of this box is going to be all Sgt. Peppers here. So we got a original first pressing mono Sgt. Pepper with the 4th proof cover on the inside. I'm not going to be able to take this one out just yet, but it has like all the inserts and the full sleeve. And very cool one there. And then we got US copies here. Scranton pressing, various condition. This is Jacksonville pressing. Let's see. Again, some of these are going to be flipped around. Yeah, another Jacksonville pressing there. This one's from Venezuela with a cool stereo sticker, and the label is just so cool with the red and yellow Parlophone label. Let's see, we got 1969 UK, and this is pretty much near mint. So very happy to pick that one up with the one box EMI. Got a green capital, Apple label there, another Apple label. This is all rights reserved Apple and the rim text there. This one's from Uruguay, 1975 pressing on this kind of light blue Odeon label there. Orange capital, 76 picture disc, purple capital label there. And this one is probably a 90 or 78. Yeah, another 78 capital. And this one is the Canadian multicolored kind of gray purplish vinyl. And let's see, I can try to readjust myself here. Foot's falling asleep. And this one is like a super clean copy from France with the hype sticker from a 1978 on orange vinyl. And this is a UK mono reissue from 1981. Recreation of the original label. This is my Mo-Fi Sgt. Pepper. And this is like an unofficial red vinyl version from like 2011. And then you got the 2017 kind of remix and outtakes. And then you also got the 2017 reissue picture disc. Woo! Yeah. So that's a lot of Sgt. Peppers there. Let's move that to the side. Okay, so now we got Magical Mystery Tours and my white albums here. So we got first Scranton mono pressing, probably a stereo pressing there, 68 subsidiary pressing, and then you got a green label, Apple pressing here, and then we got the German True Stereo 1973 copy of Magical Mystery Tour, the best sounding version of this album. And then we got, this is a UK export on yellow vinyl from 1978. I've got the Mo-Fi version, purple label, I think it's the 1995 version, yep. And this is more Hollywood, Holly Ridge strings, covering Magical Mystery Tour stuff. And now we're on to the white albums. This is my UK first pressing stereo top loader. And this thing is pretty much mint and has all the inserts and everything. So that's probably one of the more nice original Beatles records I have in my collection that I really enjoy having. And I got another UK original white album, but this one's a mono pressing. A little bit more beat up than the other one, but having a UK stereo and mono is pretty cool to have. And this one here, I made a video on. This is the Lost Harrison mix from a 1968. Again, not the most pretty copy, but in fact that it is exists, and I found one out in the wild. It's pretty cool to me. And let's see, this is my drawn up cover of the white album. I got this for like $1 or something, but I thought it was funny enough, and it's actually a first pressing with all the titles being misspelled and all that kind of stuff. This is a 71 reissue. Let's see what we got here. This is a 71 Los Angeles, but it's in like really nice shape. I got this from a friend of mine, so thank you to him. And this one is actually in my grandparents' basement, and they just had one record of the white album, so it was the first record. So I have 20 something and a half white albums, so that's what I like to say. This one is not even a true white album because it's got some pictures on it. It's from Taiwan from 1969 on kind of this blue label there. Then we got a all rights reserved press, orange label, a French white album, on white vinyl from 1978. Purple Capital label. This is a US white album on the Purple Capital. And then we got the Throwback Rainbow from '83, and this one is the Throwback label from '86. And this one is a white album from the UK from 1984-88 time frame. I think it's like the 8th pressing of it or something like that. And this one's like an 80s reissue from like the Netherlands or something. It was kind of all beat up, but it's a cool Apple label. And this is a white album picture disc. And this is the 2012 reissue. So there you go. Those are the Magical Mystery Tours and white albums. Scoot that aside. Down to the last 2 boxes here of my Beatles LPs. And starting off with a first UK pressing of Yellow Submarine. I have a stereo version. Still looking out for a mono version. This is a Netherlands pressing. Not too sure of the year on this one. And then we got a first pressing US 71 reissue. And then let's see, this is a Purple Capital. And then this is on the 1995 Apple label there. And that's the 2012 reissue. And then we're off to the Abbey Roads here. This is a UK first pressing. Still looking for the misaligned Apple. And this is a 76 UK. And this is the first ever record I found on my own. It's a faded US original pressing of Abbey Road. So that's always holds a special place in my heart there. I got a Winchester pressing, 71 reissue, orange label, purple label, MoFi, rainbow label here, and the 1995 Apple. Then we got the 29/15 anniversary picture disc as well. And this is Let It Be UK first pressing with the red label on the back, which you can't see because I got the record there. Still looking for a original Let It Be box set. I actually have the box set and the record. I just actually needed the book. I kind of found those separately. But this one's interesting. This one's a UK export, denoted by the Parlophone label at the bottom, but still on Apple. Alright, now we got some US pressings of Let It Be. We got a couple ones of those, and this is a throwback label there. And then the 1995 Apple label there. Reissue picture disc, and that is all of Let It Be. And I got a couple UK pressings of Hey Jude. This one's the first pressings with all the misprints, or the misspellings on the label there. Let me get that back up in order. And this one is another kind of first pressing, but it only has one error. So I guess you can call that a second pressing, instead of all the errors. This one's from Uruguay on the cool Apple label, small Apple label there. This one's a pressing from Taiwan on that blue label again. And then we got the US pressings from the 70s, 1970 here, 71 reissue, 73 reissue, orange label, and then this is a purple label. And this one's a interesting one from Israel, Beatles Greatest, and this one's on the Parlophone label there. And this one is just a bootleg I got from the UK file under the Beatles. Alright, we have made it to the last box, my last crate of all my Beatles records besides the one over there. Those are all the Japanese series, which I'll go through once I complete that series. But right now, this is all my Beatles LPs. Whew. And we got the Essential Beatles. This is an Australian version from 1972 on the Apple label. We got a UK first pressing of the Red Album. We got a French version, I believe. Yep, there's the hype sticker on red vinyl. Got a US first pressing, a 1975 reissue, a 1976 on the Capitol label, 78 reissue on red vinyl, and then a 1994-ish digital remastered UK version on red vinyl. So then I got the first pressing Blue Album UK, another first US pressing there, 1975 all rights reserved pressing, the 76 Capitol pressing, and then got the blue vinyl one, and then we got the 1994 digital remastered blue vinyl. This is the 101 strings, and this one is the longest symphony. Proudly presents the Beatles there. Again, more just kind of instrumental stuff. Then before the red and blue albums existed, you had this box set, Beatles Alpha Omega from 1973 bootleg box set. We got the David Wigg interviews. Let's see, we got love songs. There's the poster, and there's the album. This is a UK pressing, and this is the US pressing. And we got the Beatles 20 greatest hits from 1982 on the purple label. We got Beatles Not For Sale bootleg. I just like the cover of that a lot. A couple Christmas bootlegs. Still need to find an original one of that. We got Beatles Rarity first pressing with no George Martin on the credit, and then John Lennon is credited for the Helter Skelter remark. And I believe this is the second pressing. Yes, second pressing there. Then we got Beatles Rarities. This is a Netherlands pressing from 79. Yep. We got Real Music. This one is on yellow vinyl. And that has a little hype sticker there. And this is just a standard copy. And this is the Beatles Past Masters Volume 1 and 2 from 1988 European pressing. My lone anthology, I need to get the other two. Hopefully sometime soon from 1996 is Anthology 3. But this is a promo sampler of Anthology 2. Then we got the song track Yellow Submarine on yellow vinyl. I don't know why that's back in there, but you can see it poking out. And then this is the standard black vinyl version. Got Let It Be Naked with the EP there. And of course, we got the Beatles 1 album. And this is the 2014-2015 reissue. So there you go. Nice little 40-minute video going through all my Beatles LPs. It's kind of one little quick turnaround what we went through here. And yeah, I don't really see stopping in my future here. I got some space in every single one of these crates, so hopefully I will not run out of room anytime soon. I hope you enjoyed that kind of overview of all the stuff I had. Pretty cool to kind of go back and look through all your stuff, what you've been collecting for a little over a decade. So I'll leave you with the last look of my last crate, and I'll see you in future videos. Thanks.